I started to resent having somebody tell me exactly when I had to be at work, how much I could earn. I was desperate to do something for myself.
I sat back, last year and thought, what if? And I then realised, what if I was made redundant? Answer, I'd have no money, have no house, had to sell my car, I wouldn't have anything.
I was always in the office for 7:30, very latest 8, because that's when you got work done before everybody arrived, and usually, if not the last to leave, one of the last to leave.
I think his words went something like this: Peter, look, he said, if you put as much as you can into a pension fund until you're 65 and you're prepared to live a bit quietly, you'll be all right. Now, that wasn't quite the plan that we had in mind. Living a bit quietly didn't go down all that well. So we were left scratching our heads and totally wondering what to do.
Well, I began working in local government in 2005, and I was led to believe when I first joined local government there was this kind of feeling that you get good pensions because you're working in local government, and you've got a job for life because you're in local government. Well, actually, the reality is that as we've gone through the last 2 to 3 years, I've found that actually, no, your job is possibly not for life. You don't actually know it's going to end at a particular point, but I just get this feeling that there's a talk of, you could be redundant at any point.
Work was always first. That was the top on my agenda, to make sure that everything else fit into place as far as the family were concerned. But I suppose the more involved I got and the more accomplished I got in the business, I realised that the balance was wrong, and I wanted to spend more time with my girls.
I'm a solicitor by profession, so I was working in a law firm and I was dealing with family law. I was in debt and I needed extra money. I didn't know any different. I was still doing my PhD and I was going around in circles, and I saw this as a way out.
Mary had a very good job with an independent schools organisation, and she was sort of Deputy General Secretary. And I was running my own business within Dale Carnegie. Now, we got married to actually spend time with each other. And when you're working 60, 70, 80 hours a week, as we were, well, I certainly was, there's no fun left. You get together and you're completely shattered.
I was a hospital doctor in the NHS. I thought that it would be great. I'd be helping people with their health problems, and I'd have all the time to actually, go full circle. I don't know if that makes sense, but really get into the root of someone's problem, really feel like I'd help them, send them off on their way, and then, help the next person. I didn't imagine that there'd just be so many constraints.
I was in a job that I wasn't enjoying, and I did have a lot of the debt from travelling building up, and it was always in my back of my mind, how could I pay for all of this? And also, in the front of my mind, how could I keep on travelling?
When I saw the opportunity and the flexibility and the ability to work at something now that would then give me the time and the freedom, for me, that was just a big moment for me. I remember it as if it was yesterday, just thinking there is a way.
I saw a way to generate an income. I thought it was possible. I thought it seemed simple, which excited me as well, because I'm a simple guy.
I just saw something that I thought, well, even if it just brings in a bit of extra money, then that's still going to help. And then gradually, as I got more and more into the business, my vision, if you like, started to expand, and I could see more and more. And after a few months of starting to build my business, I could see that actually this could be a definite way out of the day job and not just extra money.
I wanted something that would allow me to be at home, but still to be able to earn a decent income. And I never really wanted to be spending my money on childcare when I wanted to be looking after them myself anyway.
I wanted my own house. I'd lived in rented accommodation or accommodation that went with the job all my life. And for me, I wanted my own house. I wanted my own house. I wanted to educate my children. I wanted the kind of life that other people were having. And I felt very often I was like on the outside looking in and thinking, how can I have that?
The dominant thing had always been worrying about money, worrying about meeting the bills, worrying about Christmas, worrying about being able to afford a very modest holiday. So I just thought there must be a magic point you reach where you no longer have to worry about money. I didn't know what it was. I hadn't got a clue what it was because I never reached it.
I work in computers. I help small businesses and home users with their computers. My father's always had 2 or 3 jobs to get us through education and so on. So I just hoped that life would be very different for me and I'd be a bit easier. You're having to work really hard, and yes, you get paid, and yes, you work and you get your money, but you've still got to do it this next day. Doesn't make you smile, just makes you live.
In the beginning, when we started on our own, farming was pretty good and people were doing okay. But then it started to go downhill. Incomes were falling beyond our control, market forces beyond our control. We were working harder, long hours, but not making as much money. We weren't getting the profits, the turnovers. And we had to think of other things. And that was when, 12 years ago, we came across Forever.
Who is Forever? Forever Living Products began 30 years ago with a simple idea that a natural high-quality health product should create better lives in 2 ways. First, it should improve the health and well-being of anyone that uses it. And second, the business should offer the potential for a richer and more rewarding lifestyle to anyone who really wants it. And in the 3 decades since, it has grown beyond anyone's imagination into a cash-rich, debt-free global company now operating in over 130 countries, with assets around the world worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Forever has many reasons for its success and stability, but the most important one comes from the aloe vera leaf. So what's so great about aloe vera? Just that it's one of the best natural substances to put on and in your body. Forever grows millions of aloe plants on its plantations. It then harvests them, and the aloe leaves are washed, filleted and pressed. And finally, stabilized with a patented process that protects against oxidation and seals in potency. Forever is now the global brand leader in the natural health and nutrition market. And Forever has enjoyed consistent and uninterrupted growth throughout its 30-year history to a turnover now well in excess of $2 billion. Forever provides certainty in a very uncertain world.
Within 6 months, the model was started to work for us, and we could see that it would work for us if we put that little bit more time in. So Mary had left her job within literally weeks, because we could actually see it working. You know, it really was starting to work. Within I'd say 2.5 years, 2 years, I'd made up my mind that I was definitely out of what I was doing. And with 2.5 years, I was out. And this is what we do now, and it's fantastic, and we have a lifestyle.
That is such a fantastic feeling, to know that you've paid off your debt and you can start investing.
I've got a real passion now to build a solid, stable income, to know that I can provide for a family in the future and for what their needs, because we never know what's around the corner. And having met so many people and colleagues that work within the company who've had to do it in retrospect, I'm kind of really pleased that I found the business in my 20s and that I can build towards the future.
I dreamt of being able to jump on the plane when I wanted to, and last year I was able to take 10 weeks holiday because I wanted to. This year I think I've had about 6 holidays, and like I'm toying with going skiing, and I'm ringing up, I want to learn how to cross ski. And I rang up Bulgaria yesterday, and he was saying, I don't know if this is going to be enough snow, I'm not sure. And I said, well, I'll ring you on the 20th. He said, well, flights are getting expensive. And you know what? I don't care. I want to learn to cross ski, so I'm going to learn to cross ski. I don't need to ask a boss when I can go away and juggle my holiday time. I'll ring on the 20th, there's snow there, I'll jump on the plane the next day and go and learn to cross ski, because I can.
What started off to be a secondary income stream alongside the farm soon became the first income stream, which enabled us to retire from farming, not because we had to, because we wanted to, and then put more effort into this Forever business. It has delivered beyond all expectations.
Well, this year alone, we started off in France. We have an apartment in the south of France anyway, near Saint-Tropez now. We've started off in France, we've been to Hungary, we've been to Phoenix, those 2 were paid for by the company. We've been to Hong Kong, we've been to Japan, and we've moved to a larger house, and we think that's not bad for a year.
It's just a phenomenal balance of everything I want to do. Everything has a value to me. My family are my number 1 value, my business is number 2.
I hate to even think how it would have been, to be honest. I guess, you know, we would either not be living in the house that we're living in now, or not doing the nice things that we can do now, or my children would be in full-time nursery.
Well, about a year ago, I was able to move house, buy a lovely house in the countryside, and it was great to be able to actually choose where I wanted to live rather than think, where can I live, and is it close enough to the hospital, can I get to the on-calls when I need to, and so forth. So being able to buy a new house, but also having the flexibility, not just in terms of time, but location as well, which for me has been absolutely brilliant.
I am sitting here saying I would like to climb a mountain, and by that I meant a mountain that nobody else had climbed ever before, somewhere. I thought, yeah, I'm going to do that. And in 2002, I think, yes, the greatest days of ever will be, I stood on the top of a mountain in the Tian Shan Mountains, 200 kilometres from the nearest habitation, with the expedition doctor and the expedition leader, Burkett Peak. First ascent, Messrs. Littlejohn, Kemble and Dr. Jane Whitmore. And that was the best day I think I've ever had in my life.
The day I walked out of the office was just incredible, and I remember getting home and thinking, I can't believe I don't have to drive into work next week. And I mean, obviously it's, you know, building your business, it's not easy, and it's not something, suddenly my life isn't just about sitting around on the sofa, but I love having the time to choose when I want to work, who I want to work with, and just having the flexibility to not have to leave my house at 8 o'clock in the morning, bang on when millions of other people are leaving. You know, I can do it at 9:30 when it's more civilised and there isn't lots of traffic.
From day one, everybody has a support structure. You're not just given a piece of paper and told this is what I expect you to do. There is somebody there holding your hand and showing you what to do. In fact, to somebody who's new to the business and worried whether they can do it, I say, I'm going to be like your driving instructor. I'm going to give you a set of keys, I'm going to sit by you. How long does it take you to pass your driving test? Is it 10 lessons, 15, 20, 30? As long as it takes.
First of all, what we're doing is experiencing and then recommending. That's what we do, and that's something that everyone does. Everyone on a daily basis does anyway. So you don't need any particular background or qualification to be able to do that. But the second thing that I would say is that the support and training system within Forever is such that anyone from any background can get involved and become extremely successful within the business.
And I never believed it, you know, for one moment in those early days, that all that we have here would be, you know, a reality. I wake up in a home which we had designed and we had built, with no compromise. That was the thing. Most of my life had been a compromise. I compromised the car I drove, I compromised the food I ate, I compromised the clothes I wore. And suddenly we could build a home without compromise. It was the stuff of dreams. That's what we built it on, the stuff of dreams.
For me, to be able to work underneath the umbrella of such a stable company that offers that opportunity for £200 or £300 a month, £1,000 a month, £2,000 or £3,000 a month, and way beyond to the six-figure incomes plus, with no worry, no fear that tomorrow it may be gone, it may not be here. You know, as I say, that gives me tremendous peace of mind.
Believe it or not, people turn around to me and say, you're smiling. And before I wasn't.
I'd say have a really long think about what you want in the future. And if you are certain that what you're doing at the moment can definitely bring you all of that, then brilliant. But if you think, actually, I don't know whether what I'm doing at the moment could realistically bring me everything I want in the future, then I'd suggest you need to look at something else. And this business has worked for so many people from so many backgrounds that I think you have to think, why will it not work for you? If it can work for all these other people, why can't it work for you?
Call us to find out more and see if there might be something here for you.